Hey, Andrew Huang, is your mic on? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's on.
Quiet over there.
Say something, bro.
I'm just a good listener.
No, you're not. You're a terrible listener, dude.
Yeah, you're right.
Always interrupt me when I'm talking to you, dude.
No,
Do you have anything that you want to say or ask or add?
No, I think it's been helpful. I think I was, to be honest, I was on like a weird, what is it? I was like, anyways, I was watching the news today, and then they always put up the same county like cases numbers, and then every day my dad's like, how do we know what's different? Right? Like, why do they keep showing us these numbers? Like, how are we supposed to know what the change is or something? And we always talk about, like, they should have percent change on, like, what's the difference.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I feel like today was the first time where they showed the cases by month. And then for LA, it was going down. And so since today, I was like, oh, wait, it's not too bad. Because before today, I was like...
It's working.
Yeah,
it's working.
Before today, I was like, oh, shoot, we can't open. Everything's going to, fall apart. But now it's like, okay, I think I get it. Like, the numbers make sense now. Like, if only people would talk about the numbers, like, in a clear way.
I think it's like, it's like, this is like a very nuanced conversation,
Yeah.
which I think is so important, that we have, because what we see on the news are like sound bites or headlines, that are basically written in such a way to be as alarmist as possible, that we click on the link. And I'm not saying that, that there should be a degree of concern, much more so than some people are showing. But at the same time, I guess this discussion is really helpful to kind of balance out or even out the perspective.
Yeah.
And go ahead, dude. Go ahead.
I think I'm feeling a little bit, like, discouraged. Because I've been sitting here the past few weeks, like, just very frustrated about all the stuff that's out there. Like, how do we know what's what? But then I think, Andrew, I'm hearing you saying, like, yeah, you have to, like, sift through what's bull or not, and, like, what you can stand on, what you can't stand on. And so that's frustrating, because I'm thinking about the normal person, or, like, the average American, and they're not gonna, like, they're not gonna do the research, right? They're not gonna look into, like, is this source real? And so it's very frustrating. I don't know. That's all it is. It's just very frustrating.
Yeah, because you're an epidemiologist, but I'm I graduated from Talbot.
Just a model.
People don't even know what that is. Like, I hear you, Andrew Huang.
But that's why, so I appreciate what you're saying. Like, the whole, like, other metrics thing is like key, I think, into thinking about reopening. So that's really helping me, think about it.
Yeah, and if you want to get into it, there's like every single number that you see has caveats to it, right?
Yeah, dude.
And to go through all of that, I think would be a whole, it's like a lesson in epidemiology pretty much, which I don't think you guys want that right now, right? But even as an epidemiologist, for us to say, hey, this number looks good, we have to read, like, the actual study that conducted this study, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, and you guys can edit this out if you don't like it, but with, like, the seroprevalence study in Santa Clara, right? They did a study to try to figure out, what the rates of past exposure to COVID was, and their methodology for how they created that study is very biased. And it's very hard to trust those numbers. And part of the reason is because their recruitment strategy was, first you start with an ad on Facebook, right? So that means you're on Facebook and you have to be able to click on the ad. Second, you need to drive to the drive-through testing site, which means you have a car and you have the time to go get a test, right? And so the population that has even just those two factors is very different from generally who's in Santa Clara County, right? But a lot of times what happens is, the news article will pick, here they say cases are already up to whatever, like 800,000 people, and, the death rate's probably like 0.005%, right? And I think as a non-epidemiologist, it's hard to say, go read those studies, right? Like, go figure out all those problems, and no one has the time to do that, right? So that's why I say, try to be open to both sides, see what numbers they're saying, and figure out, try to figure out what the middle ground is, or at least be open to, listening to what they're saying on either side.
So you said that the study was biased in terms of the population or I guess how it chose its population. Do you mean that just in a purely kind of scientific, like the study was biased in terms of the sample, the way that they sampled, or do you mean that there was some sort of agenda, behind like the people that were conducting the study to artificially inflate the numbers?
Yeah. So when we talk about bias and like selection bias, it's a specific type of bias. What it refers to is how well does the population that you've chosen reflect the population you're trying to make inferences about, right? So if I'm trying to make inferences about all of Santa Clara County, then the population I pick in my survey design should be as close to a random sample as possible, right? And that's where I'm saying there's bias. I'm not saying there's agenda behind it, right?
Yeah, I think because when people hear, "Oh, it was so biased," I think people automatically kind of think,
Well,
"Oh, yeah, Bill Gates is trying to, manipulate the study, to force vaccines."
Are there
all this crazy conspiracy?
Are there agendas though, in the world of science?
There are.
So,
sorry.
I would say it like this, right? One of my professors, he always says, anyone who says the data speaks for itself is, in a sense, lying, right? Because data don't speak. Numbers are numbers, right?
Data doesn't speak.
Data's
Yeah.
plural. No, he was.
No,
Andrew-
keep going, dude.
Andrew
Keep
was
going.
right.
Oh, I thought he was like pulling ebonics on us a little bit, like
Oh
emphasize his
no!
point.
Oh, I totally thought you were also doing like ebonics.
No, that's proper grammar, dude.
Actually,
Get off him, bro.
Actually, the
What?
singular form of data is datum.
Yeah.
That's
So
right, you datum.
You're a datum, dude.
Dummy.
I'm sorry, Andrew. My apologies. Hey,
No worries, no worries.
hey, for the record, guys. For the record, data don't speak. All right.
Is correct. That is correct.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, so people can have agendas. Do you think? You have to say yes or no so that the conspiracy theorists know what to do. The conspiracy theorists need an answer.
I would say
They already have their answer.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what Andrew's going to say.